Alright, what is up guys? We're back with another Path of Exile video here. My voice is still a little raspy from the cold I've had, but not coughing as much, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and do the Polaric Invitation here, and that's part of the Searing Exarch Questline. So after you beat the maps from Tier 9 to Tier 11 with his influence on them, you'll get this from the boss in the Tier 11 map, and then you can fight this boss called the Black Star, and that will help further progress the Searing Exarch Questline. First off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it, helps me out. We just hit 1,000 subs recently, and we're going to go for 2,000 now. So I've not done this boss fight before. Just from looking at it, looks like there's basically just two sort of simple mechanics to watch out for. After I beat the boss, I'll do just like a quick run through of kind of where the build's at right now, because I know a lot of people were asking for that in the last video. Sorry, I'm just haven't taken the time to look into Path of Building. I'm not a big fan of like of third-party stuff, so. Ooh. Ah. So yeah, when he does his fire move, you want to go into the blue area. And when he does his ice meteor move, you want to go into the fire area. So that's basically like all you gotta. Oh, dang. Okay, I was in the fire area and that still just absolutely wrecked me. Okay. Was not expecting that, but... Oh. I guess I should have just, like, DPS'd him down. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why I took so much damage from that comet, because I thought I had a lot of stacks of the buff that would protect me from that. So that is the Black Star boss fight there, and now I'll just kind of show you briefly as far as the build, like where the build's at, just so you have a little bit of a breakdown of it. So the build revolves around this staff, the Martyr of Innocence, and the way that Firestorm of Meteor has such a massive added damage effectiveness. So all of the damage, weapon damage from this staff counts as like base damage for the spell, and it gets, you know, added at 370% effectiveness. And then we're using added cold and added lightning, as well as increased critical strike, faster casting, and spell echo. And then that synergizes incredibly well with the incandescent heart, because that gives me 25%, or sorry, 19% of my elemental damage is extra chaos damage. So it's like a 19% more modifier and as chaos damage, which is, you know, very, very good damage type. So I'm scaling the chaos damage off of my elemental damage. And then it also has a couple other interesting stats on it that I'm taking advantage of with this build. So I have a hybrid ES life character, and this armor is basically like the perfect armor for a hybrid this particular hybrid build that I've come up with. So I have fully maxed chaos and elemental resist. The max chaos resist is very important because you take 25% of the elemental damage from hits as chaos damage, and so I need that to be mitigated, at the full 75% value. And what that does is that it lets me dip and use both my life and energy shield at the same time, defensively, instead of just my ES, and then once my ES is all gone, my life. So it lets me sort of extend my energy shield's, effectiveness quite significantly. And then on top of that, I have Mind Over Matter with the Hierophant. So that lets me get 50%, so 40 from there, and then 10 from here. 50% of my damage taken from life comes from mana. And so that 25% of elemental damage I take as chaos damage, half of that comes from my mana. My mana regen is insane. So, I don't even feel that. So that all the chaos damage I take to my life pool is, 50% essentially because of that Mind Over Matter. The other thing I am taking advantage of with this character is this Crown of the Inward Eye. So I already have Transfiguration of Mind from being a Hierophant, but being also having Soul and Body, it just lets me. What that does is, I believe it's 20%, or sorry, 30% of the increases to life, mana, and energy shield also apply to damage. And then my being a Hierophant, one of the abilities or passives also gives me 20% of my max mana as extra energy shield. So I really scaled the mana, and then that scaled the survivability, tankiness, damage, etc. Another big node here. We'll look at the passive tree. Sorry again. Like, yeah, I'm a scrub because I don't use Path of Building. Like, I've been reading the comments. But anyways, if you're still looking at this because I don't use Path Building, this is a huge node here. So my chest piece, because I'm using all armor and ES gear, my chest piece is giving me about 3,250 armor and about 780 energy shield, like base energy shield. So that is a huge. This node here, that one node is basically 629 armor, 390 energy shield. So very, very worth picking up that node. And then coming through here, one thing I've thought about doing is taking these three out and going into here. Give me a little bit more ES and a little bit more armor. Not sure if it's worth the life, which is more valuable, the life, mana regen, or those nodes there. And then we pick up the staff nodes for the crit. The recover 2% life ES when blocking is very big. I have 30%, or about 33% attack and spell block. I am using some cluster jewels with these nodes on them. And that is very important to the build. I also am using Series Foible with Cleanse Thoughts, and that doubles my Chaos Resist, so that's how I was able to get maxed Chaos Resist. I did learn that if you have negative Chaos Resist and you double it, it works just like math, and it doubles it to the negative. It will not double your, value of Chaos Resist. It just doubles whatever the number is on your character sheet. We've got Dream Fragments, so we can't be chilled or frozen. That's huge. And then just a couple of rares here. And I will let you see those. The ring was pretty important, essential to the build. Been thinking about Exalt slamming it, just, for the lulz at this point. Using all of the heralds, and that is where a lot of my damage is coming from. Over here with these, we have this gem or jewel here, mostly for the corrupted blood immune, but it's also giving me 10 increased cast speed. The reduced ignite is also helpful. And then we're getting a lot of damage here from power charges and endurance charges. Excuse me. And then we have a lot of just increased AoE, yada yada. So, other thing that is critically important is having one of these where you cannot take reflected elemental damage. You can pick one up for maybe like 5 or 10 chaos. I would just buy one if you're not playing solo self-found. And that is pretty much the build, guys. Still going strong. I'm gonna start taking on more in-game bosses here. I probably could have just DPS this guy down, but I thought he was gonna be a little more tanky than or maybe my damage was just higher. But I'm not totally sure how I died from that comet, because I was fairly positive I was in the fire side, which I thought was supposed to protect me from the comet, and I don't really think you can dodge it. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts or ideas on the build, I'd love to hear them. Leave them down in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe, and remember to give them the D.